Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing well. Today's lesson is about grade 10 exponents, and in this lesson the common factor is featured. So after you watch this video, I'd recommend that you check out the grade 9 common factor video and then come back to this lesson, as if you don't know how to factorize using the common factor method, this will be a bit tricky for you. The link to the video will be in the description. So if you have, let's say, 2 to the power 2 times 2 to the power 3, you have the same base and they're multiplied. So you add the exponents. This will be 2 to the power 2 plus 3, which is 2 to the power 5. You guys know that, right? However, if you have, let's say, 2 to the power x plus 1 plus 2 to the power x, do you have the same base? Yes. However, the bases are added. They are not multiplied. So you cannot add their exponents. So how do you solve this? Let's rewrite this here. 2 to the power x plus 1 plus 2 to the power x. You firstly have to break down this term. You have to look at a term that can be written as a product of two or more things. So you have 2 here. You can write this as 2 to the power x. Our base is 2. You have x here. Times 2 to the power 1, or just 2. 2 to the power x times 2 to the power 1 is 2 to the power x plus 1. And if you want to make sure, let's solve this. You have 2 and 2. You have the same base and they're multiplied. Therefore, you add the exponents. You'll get 2 to the power x plus 1, which is exactly that. So let me write this again. 2 to the power x plus 1 can be written as 2 to the power x times 2. We're left with 2 to the power x. Now what should we do? This is to introduce the common factor. So you have to look for your common factor. You have 2 to the power x here in the first term. Remember, terms are separated by the plus or minus sign. So this is the first term and that is the second term. They're separated by that sign. So you have to check in the first term, you have 2 to the power x. And in the second term, you also have 2 to the power x. So you can take out 2 to the power x as your common factor. Open a bracket. What are you left with? 2 to the power x, 2 to the power x. That cancels. You're left with 2, this 2, plus 2 to the power x. It's just the 1. We have 2 to the power x. 2 plus 1 is 3. And that is how we solve using the common factor. If you don't know how to factorize, please go and check out that video, as it'll be very important in this lesson. So let's try an example. In the numerator, we have 5 to the power x plus 5 to the power x plus 1 all over 5 to the power x plus 2. So what should we do? Let's check first. How many terms do we have? We have 5 to the power x is our first term, and 5 to the power x plus 1 is our second term. They're separated by the plus sign. In the denominator, we only have one term. So the first step would be to split the exponents, as we do have 5 here and 5 there. However, there's an addition sign. You don't have the multiplication sign, so you cannot add the exponents. So you can split the exponents. You write this 5 to the power x as it is, plus 5 to the power x plus 1 can be written as 5 to the power x times 5, or 5 to the power 1. Okay, you don't really need to write down that 1. So let's check whether this is accurate. Let's do it on the side. 5 to the power x times 5. You have the same base and they're multiplied. Therefore, you add the exponents. You know there's an invisible one there. So this will be 5 as our base, x plus 1, which is exactly that. So you managed to break it down correctly, all over 5 to the power. This is 5 to the power x plus 2. We can also break this down by writing it as 5 to the power x times 5 to the power 2. We have 5 to the power x times 5 to the power 2. Okay, now for the next step, we have to look for our common factor. Let's check. In the first term, in the numerator, we have 5 to the power x plus 5 to the power x times 5 to the power 1. In the first term, we have 5 to the power x, and in the second term, we also have 5 to the power x. So we can factor out the 5 to the power x from the numerator. This will be 5 to the power x. Remember, watch the grade 9 common factor video. The link is in the description. If you don't understand this part, you really need to practice the common factor. We have 5 to the power x. Open your bracket. You're left with the 1 here in the first term. Because it's 5 to the power x, you're left with the 1 plus, this is 5 to the power x, right? It's just 1. So we can just show that here, 1 times, you have 5 to the power 1, you write it as it is. All over, in the denominator, we have 5 to the power x times 5 squared. We can't really do anything there, so we can just write it as 5 to the power x times 5 squared. Okay, so what should we do now? We can try to solve this bracket. As in mathematics, we always try to simplify what's in the bracket first. We have 5 to the power x times, this is 1, plus 1 times 5 is just 5, over 5 to the power x times 5 squared. Now let's calculate this. We have 5 to the power x times 1 plus 5, which is 6, over 5 to the power x times 5 squared. So what should we do? Do we have any common bases? We have 5 to the power x and 5 to the power x. We have two bases that are divided, so we can subtract their exponents. This will be 5 to the power, that 5, right? X minus x. X minus x. Remember that law? Times 6 over, we no longer have that 5 to the power x, right? We're left with 5 squared in our denominator. So let's try to solve this part. We have 5 to the power x minus x is just 0, because remember it's 1x minus 1x. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's 5 to the power 0 times 6 over 5 squared. Remember, anything raised to the power 0 is 1 times 6 over 5 squared. 1 times 6 is just 6 over 5 squared. So for our final answer, we can just calculate 5 squared. Our final answer will be 6 over 5 squared, which is 25. And that is how we solve in exponents, provided that we're given more than one term in the numerator or the denominator. Let's try another example. This video is proudly brought to you by McDonald's. Download the McDonald's app today and start earning points every time you order your favorite meals. The more points you collect, the closer you get to exciting rewards like free burgers, desserts, drinks, and more. Simply order through the app, collect points, and redeem them for delicious treats once you've reached the required threshold. Get the McDonald's app now for more information and start enjoying rewards with every bite. Let's try 2 to the power 2x plus 2 minus 3 times 2 to the power 2x all over 2 to the power 2x plus 1. What's the first step? We have to check whether we have one term. We have 2 and 2 there. However, we have a minus sign, so you have more than one term. You have that as the first term and this as the second term. So what can we do? We can try to split the exponents so we can take out the common factor. For the first term in the numerator, we have 2 to the power 2x plus 2. This can be written as 2 to the power 2x times 2 squared. Is this accurate? Let's verify. This will be 2 to the power 2x. We have the same base, 2, they're multiplied, therefore we add the exponents. So when we add our exponents, we'll get 2 to the power 2x plus 2, which is similar to that. So we didn't make any mistakes. Let's move to the second term. We have minus 3 times 2 to the power 2x. All over, we have 2 to the power x plus 1. We can write this as 2 to the power 2x times 2 to the power 1, or just 2. We have 2 to the power 2x times 2 to the power 1, or just 2. So what's the next step? We have to check whether we can take out a common factor. Do we have, which term is common here? We have 2 to the power 2x, right? And 2 to the power 2x in the first and the second term. So we can take out 2 to the power 2x. Let's write it down, 2 to the power 2x. You need to really mess up to take out the common factor. The grade 9 tutorial is very easy. So 2 to the power 2x, you take out your common factor, open a bracket. As I said in the grade 9 video, we cancel that. We're left with 2 to the power 2 minus 3 times 2 to the power 2x. We can just cancel that. Over, we just have 2 to the power 2x times 2 in the denominator. So we can try to calculate what's in the bracket so we can simplify things for ourselves. 2 to the power 2x, then you have 2 squared minus 3. 2 squared is just 4 minus 3 over 2 to the power 2x times 2. Let's calculate this. You get 2 to the power 2x times 4 minus 3, which is 1 over 2 to the power 2x times 2. I hope that you guys are following. So do we have any common bases? Yes, we have 2 to the power 2x and 2 to the power 2x. We have the same base, they're divided, therefore we subtract their exponents. So you really need to know your laws by head. You really need to memorize all the laws, excuse me. So this will be 2 to the power 2x minus 2x times, we still have 1 there, over 2. We no longer have that, we're just left with 2. So 2 minus 2x is 0. This will be 2 to the power 0 times 1 over 2. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1 times 1 over 2. 1 times 1 is just 1 over 2. So our final answer is 1 over 2. And that is how we break down terms in grade 10 exponents. Remember, you need to know how to take out your common factor. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next lesson where we try more examples.